Hey traders, it's Hema here, and I've got Chart of the Week, an update on the VIX for you. Today's Tuesday, May 19th, 2020. Now, before we take a look at the charts, an important reminder that trading and investing can be extremely risky business. Therefore, it's your responsibility to evaluate any information, opinion, advice, or other content contained in this video. All right, so here we have the daily chart of the VIX. That's the CBOE Volatility Index. So this is essentially measuring fear in the market. And as you can see, the VIX has been declining for the past several weeks. And accordingly, we've seen the broad markets climbing higher, right? Like the ES and the NQ that I talk about in the full skinny multiple times a week. Now, also in the full skinny, I publish the skinny on stocks Tuesday nights, and I go through the S&P 500 sectors and I pull out my stock picks. And part of what I put in as picks was because of what I'm seeing going on in the VIX. So I wanted to make sure all of you got an update on the VIX. So let's look at what I have annotated here, right? So I'm just going to kind of draw along so you can follow with me. Basically, what I'm showing you is the application of my simplest market timing method forecasting tool and how it would have helped you out to navigate the VIX recently. All right, so the recovery off this low was forecasted to make a high at this X, the meeting of time and price. And you can see we came really close. We were 1 day shy and just a little bit shy in terms of the actual value. So that was super helpful. After this high formed, the decline off of this high was forecasted to make a low into this X. Again, you can see it was super helpful to keep you on track. And then one more time, off of this low, the forecast was for high to form into this X. Now notice, the high came in earlier, but it did meet the price target. So what does all this mean? Well, it means that the actual way that the VIX price action has been unfolding gives us room for the VIX to weaken further such that there would be potential further upside in the broad market. But also now look at this 2952 level. And why 2952 would be important, I teach that type of location of support and resistance in the 4 zones RSI coverage system. So looking into the RSI power zones down below, tied in with this support level, you can see that we're not been able to close below it on the VIX. We had to close at 2930, but then came back up and closed at 3053. So we're not able to sustain a close. And for me, a sustained close is 2 periods in a row, right? So we haven't done that yet. Also, the VIX is showing the RSI starting to sort of lift up out of the RSI power zones. And for the first time, it's breaking its streak of lower highs, right? So taking a look, starting at the top, if you just map out the major lows and highs on this move, we can see that the RSI is starting to turn around. And those of you at the 4 zones RSI coverage system know of an actual pattern that can potentially be identified from this move. So what I'm saying is that we really need to watch this 2952 on the VIX closely, especially coming into Wednesday, May 20th with the FOMC minutes. And day to day in this world that we're in, there's potential for news to unfold that could really move the markets. So what I think is most likely to happen is that we continue to not close below this level and the VIX starts to poke higher. If that's the case, then using the forecasting tool, you can have another perspective on where a high might form. If this doesn't unfold and the VIX continues lower and posts, again, a closing break 2 days in a row beneath the 2952, then we could look for a return back to this low and monitor the action from that point to see if price and momentum are still vibing, still connecting on the VIX. So again, we're at a very critical juncture here in terms of whether the broad markets are going to be topping out anytime soon or the rally off the March lows is going to continue higher. Catch you next time. You can sign up at hemaready.com/gift to get my hot, timely, actionable updates as soon as I publish right to your inbox.